Video log of the Subaru repair. Got the hood open. I'm going to remove the radiator cap. See, it's all milky, contaminated with oil. I'm thinking it's the, hopefully it's the PCV valve dual intake or dual hose attachment underneath this AC compressor. So I'm about to drain the coolant, and I got the stupid cover off. It's held together by these plastic clips and one hardware bolt. So here we go. It's coming. Mostly green. But I see a shade of brown in there, which will get more brown as it goes, as it keeps draining, because all that oil is floating to the top. You see? I would imagine the super coolant is green. I got the blue stuff. Well, the blue stuff's going back in it. Yeah, look at all that oil. That murky oil on the top. Bad. Next, according to my list, I'm going to take off the intake duct with her 8mm hose clamps. One on each opposite end. And the hose clamp on the PCV hose on the left hand side. Which is there somewhere. So there and there. Clamp on that side, clamp on that. Now it's off. Now I'm going to remove part of the air box for room, I guess. Connector and clips. That connector and those clips. Okay, now that that's off, I'm going to take the electrical connector off the map sensor, which I'm guessing is that spirally thing, and then the PCV hose off the intake plenum. And I guess a pigtail around here somewhere. Probably that. Here's the PCV hose. That's doesn't look too good. I need a new fucking hose. Next is the brake booster hose clamp. Hog ring. Got that off. So now the 4 10mm bolts on the back of the throttle body, and let her flop on back. Alright, got the bolts out. Eee, that's ooky. And there's the gasket. It's, which I'm sure is shitty. Doesn't look too bad. But next up on the list is remove the fuel hoses, the top one with a special fucking tool, which I think I might have. I'll have to check. I was looking for a specific one, but I have a state-of-the-art one. So, aha! And you know what? Didn't work. So I'm going to bypass that step for now. Another thing I'm going to bypass is the 2 nuts holding the EGR pipe down. Well, I don't have a steel pipe going across back here, so instructions that I got was probably for a different, slightly different engine. So all I got is this rubber hose deal here, and it's got that gnarly connection on the bottom. So I'm fairly confident that I can move this intake plenum back a ways so I can get to the O-rings. For the fuel rail protectors, 10mm bolts on the bottom on either side. Okay, got the guards off. Now I'm going to pull the, I guess, the fuel line to the rail on both sides. So it's going to probably be a little different than the other way. Most others you just jam a screwdriver in there, but this looks a little different, so we'll see what happens here. Oh, needle nose pliers. You push up against the tabs. Yeah. You push against the blue part. Well, anyway. There's two prongs that stick out on the opposite end. You just push it in with your needle nose and push the handle out, and it comes right off. All right, got that one out. Now for the moment of truth. 4 bolts on either side of the intake plenum, and hopefully I can move it back with these fuel lines still connected here. I mean, I shouldn't have a problem because they're pliable, so it should be fine. All right, throttle body bolts, intake plenum bolts, my guards with the bolts in them, and now I think I could move this back. Well, I do have a PCV crossover pipe. I do. That's why I can't take the damn thing off. It's down there. Trust me. It's yeah, that thing. That steel pipe. Gotta come off. 2 nuts per side. Yeah, and that blue connector comes off as well. And you don't have to take, I was starting to take off the stupid crossover pipe on the plenum side. Well, you don't have to do that. Take that connector off and this whole thing should come off. Well, fuel lines are still connected, but it should come off quite a bit. There, so now we have something like this without having to take the fuel lines off. Still have access to the gaskets in the throttle body, clean it out, and all this crap here. Okay, now I'm trying to get the AC compressor off. See, there's a leak right there. Probably, well, is an O-ring. I have to save that for later. Got the compressor or the serpentine belt loose, and the idler pulley's way back there. Got the bolts off, holding the rail, that holding the compressor in place with the cover that goes over it, and the bolts for the compressor are here. There's a long one that goes in the back and a long one that goes in the front, and then the rest are shorts. So I just now got the alternator connection off. Might have to take that other one off, that weird green connector back there. I'll move this shit forward and see if I can get the PCV valve combo, whatever the hell it's called, exposed. That doesn't look too good. All puddled up in there. Something's wrong there. Yeah. Something ain't quite right down there. Alright, this engine was a mess. There's like coolant all over the top of it. I just got done cleaning most of it off. The intake ports, I cleaned it off with carb cleaner. I'm about to change these out, these gaskets for the intake plenum, and I finally yanked the PCV crossover valve crossover. I keep forgetting the name of this stupid thing. What flows coolant one way and oil fumes the other way to be recirculated. Yeah, I got it out, and it looks like a mess, but it was way worse. So now I'm about to take the intake bolts off and get those O-rings, and I'm about to take the bolts off of the inlet ports over here where they bolt onto the block, and replace the gaskets underneath, and then and the throttle body, I cleaned it out too, so hopefully I remember where all this shit goes. That's why I'm video documenting this. Alright, I got a worm clamp on there instead of the hog ring because it wasn't strong enough. It was slipping, sliding all over. I really should have replaced the hose, but I mean, the hose itself is still good, just the ending was kind of iffy, but I just used a worm clamp, so it's pretty damn tight. And I want to leave this hose off for now so I can get to the O-rings a lot better when I take all this crap loose. Here's the first one. Pain in the ass. It's about as flat as an Amish girl's ass. But I had to jam a thin blade screwdriver in there to yank it out, and I was trying to take the pipe loose on this side, but that thing's got like 40,000 inch-pounds on it, or 40 million Newton joules or meters, whatever the common countries call it. Yeah, I was gonna break something. I was sure to tear shit up if that thing cracked loose and then something else got messed up. But yep. Alright, so I got the intake manifold gaskets off and replaced, upper and lower, and this one I had to flip upside down, so I guess it should work, but you know, it'll be fine. And I got the bolts torqued down, German torqued down, same way as it felt when I took them off, so no worries there. I cleaned everything, so now it's all time to put everything back together. I'm going to start with the cross member here, where the cross member that housed the O-rings for the crossover pipe. I'm going to put that back together with the sensors and all that crap, and then I'll put the AC compressor bracket and then compressor back on, and alternator connections and all that crap. Okay, here it is, the wonderful nighttime, and it's a lot colder. Everything's going back together. I got the gaskets changed out on the intake plenum, the O-rings replaced. Now I ran into a bunch of cracked hoses, brittle or hardened up. And of course, none of my awesome parts stores, local parts stores, have the specific hoses I need, so I just went with a reel of hose. Yeah, it bends or kind of converges a little on the bend, but I'm not worried about it. It'll be wide enough to pipe anything through it needs to, as long as it's not a 90-degree bend. So I'm going to get the AC compressor on. I got the bracket on here, compressor on, and then a little rail that holds it. Put the serpentine belt on, and hopefully I'll have to cut this down to size, because that hose was all cracked and shitty, and I put this hose on and it'll be fine. Had a hard time remembering how the stupid rail went on because the holes didn't line up. We had to put a bend to it to line up the damn hole. So a little bolt goes there and fat bolt goes there. Damn light. Okay. Got the serpentine belt back on. Alright, got the stupid cover on and the intake plenum, the bolts German torqued. It'll be alright. Chintzy ass 50 inch pound torque. These bolts are like nothing. Anyway. So I just got the throttle body and the stuff in the back to put on after my smoke break. Oh, and the fuel rail covers. And I got the fuel lines hooked up. Alright. I got all the connections for the plenum, the electrical ones for the plenum. Only electrical connections left are when the air duct goes on, and then my makeshift hose can go on there that I had to replace. And so tomorrow, because it's getting real cold, the intake's gonna go on, and I'm gonna try to flush the radiator by conventional means as best as I could. Try to get all that French vanilla sludge out of there, and hope for the best. And what else? I guess that's it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do an oil change and clean out the crud on this battery, and that's it. Alright, we're all together. Basically, stupid air box was giving me fits, wasn't fitting right. I took the whole damn thing off and fit it outside, put it back in. I'm just incompetent, I guess. So air ducts on, all the connectors are on. There's one connector back there, I had no idea where it went. Looks like it didn't go anywhere. So cleaning out the battery terminals, and then I'm going to try to flush out the damn radiator before I run it. And well, I want to run it and make sure as I'm running it, make sure I'm not pissing out the crossover pipes.